Welcome back to the Tip of the Ice-Burgh podcast, brought to you as always by the Hockey Podcast Network. The Pittsburgh Penguins are currently riding a 4-game win streak. All is good in the world of Pittsburgh Penguins fandom. Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Pirates, that's a different story.
Isn't it always?
We don't get paid to talk about that, though. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. And a certain member of the organization had their 6-year anniversary on Sunday. 6-year anniversary with the Pittsburgh Penguins, the National Hockey League club. Mike Sullivan was hired, or brought up, I should say, as the interim head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins 6 years ago from December 12th. Since then, behind the Penguins bench for 452 regular season games, with a record of 265, 139, and 48, which is a 639 points percentage. Pretty dang good. Just recently passed Dan Bylsma for most wins as Penguins head coach, so now franchise leader in that. He trails Eddie Johnston, who has 516 games played, or not games played, but games coached for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he's in second, only behind Eddie Johnston. We expect him to probably pass that. Let's see, where's he at? Probably next season. And honestly, if you look at the playoffs, it's pretty impressive as well. Obviously, the Penguins have made it to the playoffs every year with him under his tutelage. Finished no lower than third in the division every single year. In the playoffs, you look at his record, 41-34, second in Penguins history in postseason wins behind Dan Bylsma. And he has a series record of 9-4, a 2-time Stanley Cup winning head coach, only Penguins coach to ever win 2 cups. What are you thinking about Mike Sullivan 6 years later, Horwat?
That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. At the time of Sullivan coming in, it was talk of Crosby being a coach killer or, being impossible to coach. I mean, for what it's worth, only one of Crosby's coaches has ever missed the playoffs. That's Eddie O.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. And actually, to be fair, Eddie O wasn't even the coach that missed the playoffs that year. It was Michel Therrien during the second half of that year. I just pulled this up to double check.
No, he wasn't.
His rookie season, 05-06, Eddie O, 8-17-6, then replaced by Michel Therrien, who went 14-29-8.
Oh, yep. I'm thinking of something completely different. Yeah, Michel Therrien. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. So for what it's worth, yeah, I'd say Crosby's only had what? Therrien, Bylsma. We don't talk about Mike Johnston.
He had Eddie O
for a moment.
and then Mike Sullivan. He's only had 5 coaches.
I don't know how, in the matter of 15 years, that's not so much a coach killer.
Yeah, I mean, he's on what, year 16 or 17 now at this point. Mike Johnston killed himself. I mean, no, that's a poor way of putting it.
Wow.
Mike Johnston just shot himself in the foot there.
Yeah.
Plexico burst instead that. He shot himself in the foot with this organization. He just did not know how to handle this roster, this lineup. So that's what happened there. But Mike Sullivan, in these 6 years,
just has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, to turn the organization around quickly with the young players that he did, the numbers don't tell the whole story, because you think about, how many injuries has been sustained to top talent in that time. He's gone through 3 goaltenders in that time. So, like 3 starting goaltenders in that time, not to mention backups, the whole Antti Niemi situation. So, yeah, it's an impressive run for Mike Sullivan. And obviously, where we're sitting right now, his seat, it's not even warm. His seat is cooled right now.
Yeah. You got to love after every kind of
playoff loss. It's literally just playoff losses.
Yeah, every mediocre playoff appearance, it's, well, Mike Sullivan's seat is warm. No. Listen, if Pittsburgh sports has taught us anything, it's that we are not quick to change coaches.
Yeah.
Clint Hurdle stayed around long after he should have. Maybe. I don't know. It's the Pirates. People have wanted Mike Tomlin gone since, 2012? I kind of looked back into it the other day. People have been trying to shove him since 2012, and he's still here, whether it is past his due date or not.
Yeah.
And then there's Mike Sullivan, who, out of those 3 names that I just read off, has been the most successful. Nothing against Tomlin. Yes, he hasn't had a losing season, but he's won, 5 career playoff games?
Something like that. Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know the exact number, but
it might be 6. But and only 1 championship. 2 championships for Sullivan. Well, granted, in his first 2 years, he's never missed a playoff round, and now he's about to coach an Olympic team. Maybe. A lot of that needs to be figured out and ironed out. Hopefully, honestly, I don't think I want the players to go this year if there's going to be a 5-week quarantine. I digress. Mike Sullivan has been incredible for this organization, for this franchise, and for this team and its players.
Mm-hmm.
He's the winningest coach in team history and is probably soon to be the winningest playoff coach in team history.
Yeah, all he needs is 2 playoff wins. He's probably going to get that.
Boy, we hope so.
Well, 3 playoff wins. So he doesn't even have to win a series.
Hey.
Let's still. You don't even have to win a series. You just need 3 wins in the postseason, Sully.
See, all right. We could have done this a long time. He could have passed out a long time ago, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
We've been enjoying having him around though.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a fun coach. He's been a real coach, and things just seem better under him.
Yeah, definitely the environment in the locker room, the way that the stars kind of react to him. It's a good relationship between the coach and the players in Pittsburgh, and that's something that you love to see, and that's something that has been very successful for the Pittsburgh Penguins, albeit some postseason collapses. That's bound to happen. I mean, we'll see what happens this year. Obviously, the way that they have played without Malkin all year long, without Russ for the majority of the year, they missed Crosby for a long time. Now Gensel's going to be out for a long time, and they're still starting to play their best hockey, especially with a team that a lot of people were like, yeah, I don't know how good they're going to be. He's sitting here, and the Penguins are one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. 5-game win streak, 3 games lost, now a 4-game win streak currently. So they're playing really good hockey. That begs the question, Horwat, is Mike Sullivan, at this point in time, the greatest coach in Pittsburgh Penguins history?
Oh, yeah. I think he was going into the season.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
He has the track record to prove it. I mean, it's hard to not, look back at some of our coaches and not bring up what Dan Bilesman did. Phenomenal stuff. Just a very weird ending.
Mm-hmm.
And just very stubborn in his own ways. You look at Bob Johnson. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Who knows what he could have done?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're having the discussion of Bob Johnson, 4-time Stanley Cup championship coach. Who knows? We don't know. And that's just unfortunate. And you want to put him up there for the sake of, 1 year, 1 championship. Who knows what the future could have held for him? But again, it's just hard to have that discussion. So you kind of take him off that list for that. Mike Sullivan, though, he's been around. He's won 2 cups. It's kind of surprising, the only coach to win 2 cups in this organization, but unfortunate circumstances and just bad timing on Bilesman's part.
Yeah.
It happens. Looking down at some of these other names, I mean, we haven't had too many consistent coaches. I mean, whereas you mentioned Eddie Johnston, yeah, he's coached a lot, but that's in like multiple different tenures.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of a, well, really though?
Yeah.
So I think going into the season, he was the greatest coach in Penguins history.
Yeah.
It's not a high bar to cross, and when you really look at it deeply, but he's raising it, and that's for damn sure.
Yeah. Longevity is a huge factor when grading these things. I mean, not that there's actually a grading scale, but longevity to be able to stay in an organization for as long as Mike Sullivan has. He's one of the longest tenured head coaches now in the National Hockey League. That is impressive in its own right. So a great run for Sully. It does not seem like it's close to ending, especially the way this Penguins team is playing behind him. So we'll see, what transpires here. This is the second general manager of his tenure. So, and it seems like Hextall is firmly behind Sully behind the bench. So good on Mike Sullivan, 6 years behind the Penguins bench, 2 Stanley Cups. Obviously Pittsburgh hoping for a 3rd one here coming up in the spring of 2022.